Ravi Bopara's brilliant 178 was somewhat overshadowed by David Masters, the country's leading wicket-taker, who incredibly took 8 for 10 as Leicestershire were ripped apart, bowled out for only 34, their lowest total since 1965, as Essex completed an emphatic 280-run victory at Southend-on-Sea. This remarkable day for Masters and Essex began with them on 168 for 4 in their second innings, which gave them a lead of 110, and Bopara was soon adding to his overnight score of 55. However, the likelihood of a thumping Essex win would have been given very big odds when Ryan Tender-Scarter and then Adam Wheater fell in successive overs, the latter departing for a duck when he drove Nathan Buck to Wayne White. At this stage, it was Essex who looked the more likely losers. They'd slipped to 185 for 6 and led by only 127, but Bopara showed just what a class act he is. He was leading his county for the first time in a 4-day game, and he clearly enjoyed the additional challenge that gave him. Many of his shots were out of the top draw. He finally found a man to stick with him in Masters, who often saves his best form for his former county. Little did he know what impact he was to have later on. Right now, he was sharing in a very good partnership with his captain, who moved into the 90s with another exquisite shot. And he got to 3 figures for the 3rd time this summer with this stroke. It had taken him 195 balls. It was a quite brilliant effort by Bopara, who could hardly have timed this innings much better, with Owen Morgan struggling for runs for England. It showed a real touch of class too. The fact that Leicestershire couldn't get rid of Masters for more than 2.5 hours would have frustrated them greatly. He recorded his highest score of the summer. He'd made 48 in a crucial stand of 111 in 40 overs with Bopara, when at last he edged White to Will Jefferson at second slip, but by now the total had moved on to 296 for 7. And still Essex were able to pile on the runs. They'd been dismissed cheaply on the first day for just 144, but they were now some way ahead and had Maurice Chambers, who, like Masters before him, worked really hard to give the excellent Bopara as much support as he possibly could. He also struck a couple of crisp boundaries as well. On what had been a difficult surface to bat on at times for most of the batsmen, Bopara, showing off a very sound technique, proved to be a class apart from the rest as he went along his merry way, reaching a fantastic 150 before tea from his 276th delivery. He was still there at tea, which was taken at 340 for 8, but Chambers had gone when he was legged before to a turner from Jiganake after shouldering arms. After surviving for just under 7.5 hours, Bopara was finally dismissed for a sensational 178, top edging a paddle off Claude Henderson at 364 for 9, but he can rarely have played better than this. The Essex innings was finally concluded when Tymel Mills cut a ball off the close-in fielder to Matthew Boyce. They were all out for 372 to set a target for Leicestershire of 315 runs. But then it was mayhem, with Masters producing the spell of his life in the best season of his career. He bowled Jefferson third ball before Chambers had Greg Smith leg before. Boyce fell to the first ball of Masters' 4th over as the batsman edged to Tender-Scarter at slip. And when James Taylor fell 3 balls later, leg before for a duck, Leicestershire were on the slide on 10 for 4. Incredibly, the magnificent Masters took a 3rd wicket in the same over, as with his next delivery, he bowled White for a golden. Not too many sides have recovered from 10 for 5, but Josh Cobb and Buck brought up the order, did manage to double the score, but Masters was not going to be denied for long. His 5th wicket came when he trapped Buck in front, the 4th Leicestershire batsman to go without troubling the scorers. Then in his next over, his 6th, bowling gun barrel straight, he grabbed wickets number 6 and 7 for the best return of his career. Cobb edged to first slip after becoming the only man to make it into double figures. And next ball, Nake went leg before. Now Leicestershire were on 29 for 8, only 6 weeks after they'd been bowled out for 48 by Northamptonshire. Masters had now taken his last 6 wickets in just 16 deliveries. Leicestershire had little chance of getting past that score of 48 when, 3 runs later, Bopara came on and was gifted a wicket as Henderson let a nip backer bowl him. And quite rightly, it was left to Masters to finish things off in a hurry. Tom New edged behind as the 33-year-old claimed the very tasty figures of 8 for 10 from 7.4 overs. The whole innings had lasted just 88 deliveries. All out for 34, it was an unforgettable day of cricket. That takes Masters' tally of wickets to 61 this season, easily the best of his long career. He now averages 17 with the ball this summer. The 280-run win, which earned Essex 19 points, puts them up to 4th place in the LV County Championship 2nd Division table and right back in the mix for promotion. Poor Leicestershire remains stuck at the bottom after another day which they will want to forget in a hurry.